All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're looking at why emotional intelligence is literally the ultimate driver of leadership success. Because let's face it, if you want to elevate your leadership game, technical skills and raw intelligence, they're just not enough anymore. Today, we're walking through the core elements of the EQ Mastery Modular Development Program. It's designed specifically to help you understand your emotional drivers and really improve your overall abilities as a leader. Here is our agenda for today. 1. The leader's EQ advantage. 2. IQ, EQ, and personality. 3. Mastering personal competence. 4. Mastering social competence. And 5. Putting EQ into action. Section 1. The leader's EQ advantage. So why do some highly intelligent leaders just fail while others completely excel? It's a fascinating leadership dilemma, right? And the answer actually isn't about how smart you are, but how you process information biologically. We've all seen leaders who look absolutely perfect on paper, but then they struggle to manage their teams, or they just crumble under pressure. To understand why that happens, we really have to look inside the brain. And here is the biological reality. Every single sensory signal passes through our emotional center first. That means our initial reaction is always emotional before it becomes rational. Signals enter through the spinal cord, they hit the limbic system, which is where our emotions are generated, before they ever reach the frontal lobe, where rational, logical thinking happens. You literally cannot stop this process. Emotional intelligence is simply optimizing the communication pathway between these two distinct areas of your brain. Now, the hard data on this is wild. EQ is so critical that it accounts for 58% of performance in all types of jobs. That makes it the single biggest predictor of workplace performance. There was this research analyzing over 500,000 people worldwide, and it found that a staggering 90% of top performers are high in EQ. It subsumes all those critical skills like time management, decision-making, and communication. But here's where it gets really interesting for you, the direct ROI. Research shows that every single point increase in your EQ adds exactly $1,300 to your annual salary. Let that sink in. There's a direct, quantifiable link between your ability to manage your emotions and your actual capital value as a leader. Section 2. IQ, EQ, and personality. So, as you can see, IQ, EQ, and personality are completely distinct qualities. That means you can't predict one based on another. You might be incredibly intelligent but have really low emotional intelligence. Or you might be highly introverted but possess just stellar EQ. They function as totally independent variables that together make up the whole person. But here is the absolute game changer. While your IQ is fixed and your personality is stable, your EQ is highly flexible. It is the only quality you can actively rewire through practice. No amount of effort is going to significantly change your IQ, but your EQ, you can train it. In fact, research shows that people with low EQ can completely catch up to their top-performing peers just by working to improve this specific skill set. Section 3. Mastering personal competence. All right, take a look at the 4-quadrant model. This maps out the entire EQ Mastery program, splitting emotional intelligence into internal personal competence and external social competence. So personal competence handles that self column, self-awareness, and self-management, while social competence handles the social column, social awareness, and relationship management. Let's focus on personal competence first. As a leader, this dictates your internal state. It sets the baseline for how you react under pressure. Think about it. You can't manage a response to an emotion that you haven't even identified yet. This is your foundation. And remarkably, only 36% of people can accurately identify their own emotions as they happen. Crazy, right? So self-awareness is your absolute foundation. Try to neutrally observe your emotions without judgment. If you label a feeling as bad, you just add layers of guilt that obscure the real issue. Instead, lean into the discomfort. Feel the physical signs, like maybe a tight chest or a racing heart. It also really helps to keep an emotion journal to track your triggers, because 83% of top performers are highly self-aware. They know exactly what motivates them and exactly what derails them. Once you're aware of those triggers, you can deploy these self-management tools to rein in your impulses. This ensures you direct your behavior positively instead of suffering what's called an emotional hijacking. That's when your limbic system just totally overrides your rational mind. To stop that, breathe deeply. It sends oxygen straight to your prefrontal cortex. You can also write out an emotion versus reason list to visualize what's clouding your judgment. Or, simply count to 10 to give your rational brain time to catch up. Section 4. Mastering social competence. Now we shift outward. This is where empathy meets execution. It allows you to really read the room and build the psychological safety your team needs to thrive. It encompasses both social awareness, which is picking up on the feelings of others, and relationship management. When you use these specific relationship management strategies, it ensures clear communication, effective conflict handling, and those long-term bonds you absolutely need to lead complex teams. For instance, offering a simple fix-it statement like, "Hey, I know this is a lot, are you okay?" can completely redirect a failing conversation. And when you explain the why behind your decisions instead of just dictating them, you make your team feel like they're part of the process. That builds immense trust.
Section 5. Putting EQ into action. All right, here is your continuous improvement loop. Assess your baseline, hyper-focus on just a few tactics so you don't get overwhelmed, practice relentlessly, and then remeasure your growth. You can't fix everything at once. Pick just one quadrant, select 2 or 3 specific strategies, and practice them. This repetition literally builds new physical neural pathways in your brain. It turns emotionally intelligent behaviors into automatic habits.
Now, this is super interesting. Keep your test scores private, but make your goals public. Research actually shows that publicly stating which specific EQ strategies you're working on creates accountability, and it invites your colleagues to support your development. You don't have to share your numerical score or anything, but telling your team, "Hey, I'm working on taking feedback better," allows them to help you out. It builds a culture that promotes EQ across your entire organization.
So, what's it going to be? Which of the 4 EQ quadrants will you commit to rewiring today to transform your leadership impact? Take a moment right now to reflect on your own blind spots, because your journey to peak leadership performance starts the exact moment you decide to train your emotional intelligence. Are you going to focus on self-awareness or maybe relationship management? The beauty of this modular program is that the choice and the immense growth that comes with it is entirely in your hands. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.